Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Psycho, and I've got another Walking Dead video for you all today. Now, this one is actually going to be pretty interesting, and I'm going to give my thoughts about a topic that has been highly requested throughout a few of my viewers. Now, this topic is going to be over the idea of a possible cliffhanger for the Season 6 finale of The Walking Dead. One of the first people that recommended this video idea was a role player known as Dwight. He always watches my videos and leaves awesome comments, so I want to thank him for asking me to do this video and just complimenting me all the time. Plus for all of the other people that ask as well and the people that appreciate my videos, I want to thank you as well. I know the idea of even there possibly being a cliffhanger angers a lot of people. However, I do want to look at this from different angles and standpoints instead of just saying, oh well shit, I don't want a freaking cliffhanger, I want it all to go down in this episode. So I want to look at all of the sides here. Now initially I thought a cliffhanger would definitely suck considering it's been hyping up to this moment throughout the whole season, but it would make sense in certain ways, and this is what I'm going to go in deeper with. However, before I move on to that idea, I want to discuss the details of the only ways that I would enjoy a successful cliffhanger that they could pull. There are certain requirements that they have to provide for me to say, oh well, this was a good episode and the cliffhanger was done well. The first idea that I think they need for this cliffhanger, and some may disagree, but this is my opinion, I think that there needs to be one person, maybe a B character, like a rank 2 character, not like the Atlanta 5, but one important character that dies to Negan and Lucille. It could be people like Rosita, Abraham, Aaron, Sasha, all of those sort of rank 2 B characters, and I think the way that they could do this successfully was to kill one of them off, and then right as the episode is about to end, and Negan says something else like, Lucille is still thirsty. Or maybe he says something like, bring another one up, or who's next, just to lead into the idea that he's not done killing them yet. And this would make sense because we have killed a whole lot of saviors, and I don't see how we can kill 50 of their people and him only kill one to make a point. Now, one could say that he's not going to kill a lot of them because he wants to break them down and make them fall in line to follow him. However, it feels as if he still needs to make a bigger point. Now, I would like this because it would give us the satisfaction of the death. Even though we do mourn death when it happens in the TV show, it's also pretty crazy when it does happen, and it's an enjoyable scene. We do have a long overdue death this season, and one thing that I noticed was that in the Season 5 finale, we didn't get any major deaths like our character deaths, and then in this next season, we didn't really get any major character deaths as well. I mean, we had Jesse, Ron, and Sam, but those weren't really people that were part of our group. So this season, other than Denise, and I don't even consider Denise as part of Rick's main group, we haven't really had anyone that has died that came from Atlanta, or came from the prison, or even came from Terminus. So this is definitely something that has been over the edge for a while and it just hasn't tipped over yet to where we finally get one of those deaths. So I think to kill someone like that would definitely give a little bit of satisfaction, and the idea leading on to that someone else is going to die, most preferably someone bigger, then we would understand and realize that, holy crap, I'm excited to see what happens, and I'm not really mad because we did get a decent death and the episode was awesome. This is the way I look at it because I feel like I want this show to keep having a huge viewership, and one way to do that is to keep a cliffhanger for Season 7. And I know a lot of you may disagree with that, but let's go and compare some statistics of the viewership ratings recently. Season 6 has not done very well when it comes to viewership if you compare it to Season 5, considering that Season 6 has been the biggest and best season so far in my opinion. I feel that the viewership rating should be a lot more, and even more than Season 5. And one thing to mention about that is Walking Dead ratings haven't been this low since Season 4, and that does kind of worry me, and I know that they can continue doing the show for a very long time, even if the viewership ratings do get lower. However, it worries me in a way that I worry about paying the actors, having the budget still be pretty big, and all of those other things. A lot goes into a TV show, and this is something definitely to notice and mention. I don't want this to become a trend and start decreasing even more as we get into Season 7, so I feel that a way to stop this is this cliffhanger. One of the biggest cliffhangers we've ever had in a season finale of The Walking Dead was back in Season 4 in the episode titled A. Now, like all season finales, they do have pretty great viewership ratings, and this one had 15.68 million viewers. They left that on a huge cliffhanger where our group got trapped in Terminus, and this was such a great episode, and then we met Joe and the Claimers, so not only was it a cliffhanger, but something else great happened as well. And if we look at the episode after that, the next season, the premiere titled No Sanctuary, it got 17.29 million viewers. This is the highest viewership rating for any episode of The Walking Dead we've ever had. And as you can see, this cliffhanger worked out very well for the show. And one very interesting thing to note about that idea is that the episode before 16, episode 15, it had 13.47 million viewers, and this is actually not very fantastic considering it's a 15th episode, but if you consider it compared to the episode 15 titled East in season 6, if we compare those two, they are in similar situations. The episode 15 for season 6 did not have a huge amount of viewers, and I feel that this finale is going to rake in a decent amount, and just like in season 5, the viewership rating is going to skip ahead a million or two to add on to the finale numbers. So I feel like maybe it'll be 14 or 15 million, and if it stays at 12 or 13 million viewers, I will definitely be disappointed, considering that this is such a huge landmark episode. But if we do look at that trend at going from 13.47 to 15.68 to 17.29, I feel that we could be in the same boat here, where it says 12.38, maybe we get 14 or 15 million, and then maybe if it does that huge cliffhanger, but it's also an awesome episode, that season 7 premiere episode will rake in even more viewers. And the reason I feel okay with this idea is because the show is not only about rushing things and making them happen, it's also about keeping the quality and making sure this show lasts long. And that's one of the things I love about The Walking Dead, is that it does well in ratings, and that points to the idea that it can last for a decent amount of time. And considering it is my favorite show of all time, I want it to last very long. So a way to do this is to keep viewership ratings up. And if you still keep the finale episode a great episode, there's no problems there. Now that I have expressed this point in detail, I'm going to point out some cons of this idea. Having Negan's scene split up into 2 different episodes and a big break apart would definitely alter the scene in a certain way. However, I can't specifically say that it would ruin the scene because I don't know how they're going to do it in Season 7, Episode 1, so I can't say that, but you can imagine having that break. It's going to alter the scene a lot because a lot of people are going to analyze that scene and view it over and over and then become tired of it. So when they come back to it, just like the Glenn death scene, I kind of got tired of that because I reviewed it and analyzed it over and over to see if he was alive. So it definitely altered the scene for me because it was split up. I just hope that they can do it in a way to where they pull it off perfectly and it's a great scene. That is what I'm hoping. There is also another huge negative of having Negan's kill cliffhangered. As we all know, there are a ton of spoiler communities out there that like to spoil The Walking Dead and see what happens before the episode airs. And if you are familiar with my channel, you know that I hate spoilers for The Walking Dead because it ruins any sort of predictions and speculation, and I like to try and figure it out on my own. So if we do consider this, it's most likely that they're going to have spoilers out for who died by Negan in around maybe a month after the finale aired. So this also endangers the fans that do not want to know about spoilers, and most likely for the people that don't even like spoilers, the people that do like them are going to be douchebags and tell those other people, and it's going to ruin it for them. And I do know that this happened with Glenn's fake-out death. People used images of him being on the set, and this proved whether he was going to be alive or not, and this is just one instance of that example, so I know exactly 100%, I'd bet you all of my money, they would figure out who died by Negan in the premiere in exactly only a few months after the finale airs. So that definitely endangers the fans that don't like spoilers. Another con that I do want to point out is that if they do happen to show this episode, it's 90 minutes long, we've got a lot of time for everything. And if we happen to see a lot of filler, something that you notice as filler, and we can see that, I will be sort of aggravated with the fact that they do try to cliffhang it, simply because we could have used that time for the actual major scene, and you would know that it's going on purpose. So if they do cliffhanger it, we know that they did it on purpose to get more views, and I understand that, but it's also the fact that they might add in more filler to make it cliffhang, and the idea of that does kind of irk me a little bit. One other con would be that if they don't kill 2 people and they cliffhang it to have the person die in episode 1 of season 7, I will definitely be extremely aggravated and mad because this would be a disservice to fans, I think, considering we haven't got any big deaths this season. and they've been hyping it up the whole way, I feel like this would be a disservice to fans, simply because we know we would have time in that 90-minute finale to kill someone major off and give them a great death. So I do feel that someone else does need to die, in addition to a major character in episode 1 of season 7. However, if this does meet the attitude and requirements that I mentioned that it would perform and turn out well, I would support this cliffhanger, and I do support it in a way because I want them to have those viewers and I want them to make that money, because them making money not only means, oh, we're greedy bastards, it also means they can use that money and not worry about cutting the budget to where they can now perform anything they want to from the comics perfectly and make it look great and turn out well on TV. So I definitely support the idea that they do want viewership, because I do want them to make money. That way our show can still be great quality. But if we do consider the scene itself only, I think that they can pull this off if they do it correctly, and I think it would be kind of awesome, because as fans we do love to speculate and see what happens to a person and see whether they died or not. So to add in this speculation idea would definitely be awesome. Considering I do like to speculate a lot and analyze, it would be pretty cool for my channel, but they do have to do it perfectly. And that is something I can't stress enough. It has to be perfect. They have to have that extra death in there, and they have to make the scene so well done, and as long as they make it development instead of just obvious filler, I will be happy with that. I'm the type of person that always likes to support the things the show does. However, if they do make a mistake that I just cannot go silent with, I will mention that. And if they do happen to not kill anyone else in this finale, I will definitely be disappointed, because you have to have that to lead on into the cliffhanger and people still be satisfied. So as you can see, I will support a cliffhanger if they do it right, because I think cliffhangers are pretty awesome. It gets me excited about the episode, and I was the type of person that liked season 6 episode 8, titled Start to Finish, simply because they set everything up perfectly, and I know a lot of people disagreed with me on this, but they set it up for a perfect cliffhanger, and they made sure that everything was going to be going down in one episode. And they made sure that everything was going to flow perfectly. For example, we had the setup episode where it showed everything getting set up, and then we had the coming down episode titled No Way Out, where they were able to focus on nothing but action almost the whole way, so it was done fantastically well. I do support setup episodes because it enables everything to go down in the next episode without having to waste any more time on setups. So I feel that if they make this a setup episode, but also have some action and stuff going on within it as well, I feel that they can do this premiere next season very perfectly, because they will have everything coming down. We will have a huge death, we might have some more action with that, we'll have some grieving, and a lot of things going on to where everything is going down, and it will be extremely entertaining. I'm probably running out of time on my video limit right here, so I'm going to have to head out, but I really appreciate all of you all watching. It means an absolute ton to me. It just means so much to think that people click on my videos, watch it, top up awesome compliments, like it, all of these things. It's just so appreciated, and I want to express my gratitude. Thanks again, guys. Peace out.